Even during Erikson's final stage of late adulthood, psychological growth continues until death. In this case, rather than the physical skills of earlier stages, the skills of late adulthood refer to psychological and spiritual skills of the mind. This stage prepares one for the final promise of life itself, death. Although it may sound morbid, it's the inevitable reality that should be accepted in avoiding unnecessary stress and anxiety. But how can this be possible? How can one possibly smile at the doors of death? Erikson argues that finality forces us to reflect on the effect our life has had on the world and the people around us. This reflection leads us calmly into the end, as it allows us to feel a sense of pride, accomplishment, and closure. In this way, our every action has a meaningful role to the path in our graves. If our actions have been predominantly positive, we will feel a greater sense of peace than if our actions have caused pain and disappointment. As such, our perception of death itself depends on our perception of a life well lived. The central conflict of late adulthood is ego integrity versus despair. If we can look back and feel a comprehensive sense of completion, we have achieved what Erikson calls ego integrity, in that our self-concept feels complete, having cultivated a life that produced value. Ego integrity is the extension of ego strength. As such, it prepares us for the next stage, whatever that may hold. We are likely to become more spiritual at this phase, either reverting to our childhood practices of worship or by adopting newly formed spiritual beliefs. Our ego integrity becomes less concerned with worldly matters, which brings a closure to our physical existence and opens our minds to the next place. Of course, this doesn't occur quickly, but over the span of several years. For this reason, we may see some elderly people grow closer with their families, grow softer in temperament and more patient, and develop more fantastic thinking. But what happens to the person who feels nothing but regret, guilt, or a lack of pride in their accomplishments? Erikson suggests that this individual is bound to feel despair. In this way, despair preoccupies their mind and soul, bringing a fear of death and a lingering morbidity through their final years. The person may grow cold and callous, cynical of life itself, and fearful of the unknown. Activities in one's life hold immense value to this person, which brings grudges to the grave, or plaguing memories that cause incessant rumination. This person may feel unprepared for death, since their life has brought them misery and dissatisfaction. They may feel pushed into death and further antagonize those people that have caused them pain and disappointment. There is no forgiveness in this person. They have an incomplete ego, and their identity shudders at the thought of inexistence.